Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. All Progressives Congress leaders move to mend fences. Party governors accept Dr. Saraki as Senate President. Yakubu Dogara as Speaker, House of Representatives. President Buhari advocates supremacy of the party over personal interests at meeting of APC National Executive Committee. Internally displaced persons in Abuja accuse government of neglecting them. Greek Prime Minister-elect Tsipras urges voters to reject blackmail in Sunday's bailout referendum. All our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from the respective stores. We urge you to please interact with the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app on the Android, iOS, and Windows platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap on the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. The National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Lai Mohammed, says the party's National Working Committee meeting, which held in Abuja, has provided a platform for resolving the party's ongoing leadership crisis at the National Assembly. At the press conference after the NEC meeting of the APC, Mr. Mohammed also explained why some of the party's chieftains, including former Governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, and Chief V.C. Akonde, were not at the meeting. According to him, the decision on who to invite and whether to attend the meeting or not depends on the party's National Working Committee.
The NEC has also provided an enabling environment to look into ways of resolving the National Assembly logjam. I think it's at the discretion of the NWC and NEC who to invite or not. And I think I also saw that we have a respect for his position. But why is not here? I don't want to fathom the reason why he's not here. I think, like I said, neither of them are members of the ESCO of the party. Yeah, I cannot say categorically, yes or no. Otherwise, I would be emptying the various reconciliatory meetings that are going on. And honestly, like I said, if what the country, I think what the country wants is stability. What the country wants is peace. What the country needs now is a government that can function.
We're still tracking the events at the All Progressives Congress, and we're now being joined on the News at 10 by Dr. Chiman Naji, political analyst and legal practitioner. Good to have you join us on the News at 10.
A pleasure. Good evening.
You've been following the trend. They had the NEC meeting and also a meeting with the governors. What's your take on these two meetings?
I think it's very important that that meeting held. It should have, in fact, held before today, so that the entire nation would have been saved some of these distressing moments. You see, politics essentially is a game of who gets what, when and how. And in our climb, when the prized positions, grabbing the prized position is mutually exclusive. If A gets it, B goes home dry. So there's no room for second prize, so to speak. So that makes it a little bit a problem, even though inherent in politics is conflict. But it is said that politics is conflict, but conflict within consensus, because there are rules and regulations, there are laws and normative conduct, rules of normative conduct. There are laws, electoral laws, the constitution is there, what happened at the National Assembly from the point of view of law and the rules of the National Assembly, especially the Senate, is within the ambit of the law. The party, if it was interested in influencing who becomes what, ought to have put his house in order.
At what point?
At the point after the election, there should have been meetings, caucus meeting and whatever. And that meeting, when people talk about party supremacy, there is a presumption behind that statement that the leadership of the party must be capable of carrying the agglomeration of interests, okay, of the membership of the party, such that a father, the supremacy of the father in the house, if you want to take an analogy, is not absolute. But it is to the extent that three or four or five of the children are taken care of as father. But when the father begins to show some preference, there might be one of the renegades, and he's no longer going to be playing within that supremacy.
Let's look at it this way. First, they made a mistake, which was not taken going ahead with that particular election with the leadership of the party.
Yes.
And second, with the principal officers. So not once, twice,
yes,
they haven't actually listened to their political party.
Absolutely.
So would you say the party got it all wrong by trying to give them such directions?
I wouldn't want to sit down here and apportion blames. But what we are saying is that if you see, there's no room for vacuum. Nature abhors vacuum. And something like power, you don't sit down in your room and power will, creep to you. People grab power. That's why they struggle for it. And the rules are now made to cushion the effect of the conflict that is inherent in that struggle. So I wouldn't want to say it was the party leadership that caused the problem, or the people. Those people saw an opportunity, they grabbed it. And perhaps they also felt that they were excluded. If they were not wanted, they want to prove a point. And when you have made a mistake and you are unable to bring the change, because the best way to cope with change is to bring it about so that you would have determined its course. But when the change happened without, what you try to do is to manage that change, because it has come. So the question of going about to say we will never accept Saraki or Dogara and all that was pouring petrol into the fire.
Very quickly, moving ahead is very key here, and this is not the first time they have met to see how they can resolve this particular impasse. With this recent development, do you think when the House and the Senate resumes, we'll see an end to all of this?
It is in the best interest of the party. And of course, it is good for Nigeria that this thing be resolved. Because I can tell you, they say the man who has the palm front is the one that has the loyalty of the goat. Okay? So if they don't resolve this thing and the houses of the National Assembly resume, the committee chairmanship and membership is still there as some of the things that will motivate loyalty. So the leadership will be able to dispense these positions, and you will see more crossing over to the loyalty for the leadership, because they want to, after all, at the end of the day, they didn't come there to bicker about party. It is all about what they can grab for themselves, and perhaps maybe their own constituency. So it is in the interest of the party, the APC, to finally resolve this thing, and the best way to resolve it is not by going confrontational. This idea of banding party supremacy may not have an absolute grip on those who are already having the grip on the power within the National Assembly. So it's in the interest of the party to see how well to manage the situation, accept them as they seem to have been making that reconciliatory moves, and then begin to see how they can use that position to leverage the party in getting some other positions for the membership of the party.
I would like to thank you so much for coming on the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
Well, the internally displaced persons camp in the Durumi area of Abuja, the nation's capital, say they have been abandoned by the government. According to them, government has not lived up to its responsibility of taking care of their welfare. They say instead agencies of government have been making life more difficult for them. raiding and extorting them while threatening to evict them from where they have taken refuge. They are appealing to the government to liberate their communities from the grip of Boko Haram and make them safe enough for them to return and rebuild what is left of their lives.
Esther Tanko is a mother of 6 children who successfully escaped the attack of the Boko Haram sect about a year ago in her village in Goza. According to Esther, her journey began from Cameroon to Adamawa, Plateau and then to Abuja, where she has built a temporary life in this room made with trampoline alongside her husband and children. In Esther's one-room shelter is a small passage where she kept her cooking utensils and her husband's bike. She says life has become a nightmare as a result of the rain. The room has no ventilation. Esther says it is to prevent rain from entering.
Ruwan sama ya dawo don haka sai mu yi shifting gefe daya sai mu kwana. Yara kullum tare yanzu yarinya na karamin nan mata na tare jiya mata kwana ido biyu bata samu barci.
Esther suffers the same fate as all these women and children. Some of the residents spoke on some of the challenges they face.
We don't have enough room, enough space to students to read, and we don't have hospital. That is the problem.
Kauye babu mun gudu mun zo nan ne wajen yan uwan mu da muna ganin cewa mun zo mu dan yin manage before an kauye ya samu zaman lafiya za mu koma gida. To kuma yan demolition sun zo kwanikin baya sun zo yan FCDA dai sun zo dai haka dai sun fara rurrusa ma sun dan rurrusa ma mutanen mu dai wajen kasuwan su da kuma wajen kwanikin su dai amma ba su shiga gaba dai sun yi demolition din ba.
A huge disappointment for them is the lack of government presence to provide security. They want the government to do more to end the insurgency and make their villages safe enough to return to.
I want government to help us to settle all this problem. Let us go back to village.
Haka kullum muna magana a jarida suna ji suna gani a TV amma gwamnati ba za ta taba doka mataki cewa bari in taimaka ma talakawokin mu ba saka ce mu ba kamar yan Najeriya ba.
Despite their living condition, the children here find time to study in their makeshift classroom. The desire of these people who form part of the over 4,000 internally displaced persons in Abuja, the nation's capital, is for government to end the insurgency so that they can return home and rebuild what is left of their lives. Amaka Ukafo, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, financial derivatives company predicts a further rise in Nigeria's headline inflation for the month of June. That's some business news. Join us again.